Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and today's video is called 6 Work From Home Essentials During the Coronavirus Pandemic. Now, before I get into this video, I want you guys to understand that this video I have not made to promote fear or to incite panic from the coronavirus. Recently, as of just this week, and today is Monday at the time of this video, I have gotten almost 10 phone calls of people that have basically said, hey Prince, I found your YouTube channel because of this virus and because of, this policy with our company, or for legal or liability reasons, or just for the safety and preventative measure of our staff. We would like to talk to you or look into some sort of options or what it takes for us to be able to work from home or work remotely. So basically, this sheet was actually sent to me by one of our masters, one of the organizations, the many organizations that we represent, that allows us to be able to have access to quotes, services, and best pricing for all of the voice over IP and phone service providers that we represent in the United States. Somebody over there actually dropped this in my inbox and said, hey, you might be interested in doing a YouTube video about this in a constructive light. So again, this video is basically going to be me talking about 6 essential things that you as a business leader or as a business owner or as a staff person's business would need so that you could work from home productively and stay productive and also stay safe during this coronavirus pandemic until this thing blows over. So anyways, let's jump right into this. So first of all, part of this actually states that the CDC and other government agencies are basically predicting that working from home is going to become the new normal. The funny thing is, for me, I've always worked from home. I've owned my own business since I was about 19 years old, been working from home since I was about 20 years old. And so for me, working from home is the norm. So I know what it takes to be able to do this and stay productive and also look like a professional business that is working from home. So the other thing that I want to throw out there before we get into these 6 points, and I'm going to run through these very quickly and try to keep this video to a minimum, is I don't know what city or state you may be in, but you may want to contact your local city hall or whatever that may be, or your local state ordinance, and find out if they have some sort of program, especially if you're the business owner or the the director of operations or whatever that may be watching this. There are many states, Virginia, which is the state that I'm from, being one of them. There are many states and city ordinances that actually have programs that will actually compensate a business by way of actual tax deductions or actual money, grants or whatever it may be. They will actually compensate you a certain amount for every individual staff member, including yourself, that is working from home, because it saves the city, the state, whatever money on, excess pollution, wear and tear on the streets. It cuts down on traffic, which reduces car accidents and, law enforcement, time and money spent. So I would encourage anybody who's watching this that's really serious about converting a small or even a large number of persons to working from home to get with your state or city ordinance and find out if there's any sort of program that compensates the business, whether that be by actual cash or with some sort of tax deduction, because many states and cities do that. So anyways, let's jump right into this. The 6 essentials that you must have to work from home during this epidemic, or indefinitely if you just want to work from home because that's your dream or you want to be a digital nomad or whatever that may be. Number 1, high-speed internet. I don't think this one needs much explanation. You've got to have decent internet for anything these days, to run a voice over IP or cloud-based phone system, to have reliable email service, to even do Zoom videos or Google Hangouts videos or Skype videos with clients and things like that. You've got to have some sort of reliable high-speed internet. My take on it, I think a lot of it is going to depend on what you're doing out of your home office. Or you're using IP phones, or one or more people working in your home office, or you and your wife a team or something. I've even seen home offices in the past where people had their entire staff working out of an addition in their home that was an office at home. I usually recommend a minimum of 5 megabytes, and I recommend that you have at least broadband. I know for some people, depending on where you may be, whether you're in a rural area or whatever, your options may be slim, i.e. DSL, i.e. microwave internet or wireless internet, whatever it is that you've got. I typically recommend that against wireless, and that it be something that's in the ground so that it's got a stable connection and it's not a signal going back and forth like that. And I recommend it be, at the bare minimum, at least broadband. If all you've got is DSL, fine. You can even run voice over IP over DSL alongside your email and other applications that may require the internet, but you're going to be limited. You won't be able to have a lot of IP phones, and certain things like VPN or connecting to something over a thin client may seriously suffer on DSL. So to leave this point on a good note, 5 megabits down is what I kind of recommend. Let's see if we can blow this up a little bit for you guys. There we go. 5 megabytes download I recommend, and I really recommend that you stick with broadband at the very minimum. If you can get fiber, like a Verizon Fios or a Frontier Fios, depending on where you are, even better. Number 2, move your phone system to the cloud. Now, for you guys who frequent my channel, you know that this isn't anything new. We represent all cloud-based phone system service providers in the United States. Sell it all the time. I work with companies of all sizes, from 1 employee to I've worked on ones as high as 300 employees plus in multi-locale that need voice over IP. Basically, in short, what does this mean? It means that your phone system is quite literally in the cloud. If you're watching this, or it's on the internet, it's mobile. It isn't dependent on a physical location. For those of you who may be watching this that are on an older phone system, like an old traditional PBX, and it's got the box on the back wall or whatever, it's pretty obvious you're not going to be able to take that with you. You could try, but you can't put it in every single one of you or your staff members' homes. Now, some of the older hybrid phone systems that have the big brain box or motherboard on the back wall, they do have ways to be able to be a hybrid in the cloud, hence the name hybrid phone system, but it can get really costly. I recommend that you use a system like what I use and what most people use nowadays or are switching to, a true, or what we call a pure cloud-based phone system platform. These systems don't have the big box or whatever that you remember seeing with the old phone systems with the wires going into it in the back. All of that is in the cloud. It's somewhere, but it's all in the cloud with your provider. What does this mean? It means that, like me, I can pick up my Polycom phone on my desk, go to another state or a hotel or on a cruise for all that matter, and plug it into a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable on the wall that's connected to stable internet, going back to point 1, and I can still make and receive calls to my actual office number like I'm still in the office. So it's seamless. If your phone system is in the cloud, you and your different staff members could be all scattered about, and you still can dial each other's extensions as if you're in the same office, can still be part of the dial by name directory, can still transfer calls back and forth to each other, and much, much more. It's basically your phone system virtualized in the cloud, and it's probably, in my opinion, one of the most important components of being able to truly work remotely, whether that be from home or from another location or whatever. Point number 3. Let's move me over here so you guys can see this. Point number 3, move desktop workspace to the cloud. What does this mean? It means just that. I'll give you guys a couple of examples. Us personally, we use Gmail for our email. So all of our email doesn't physically reside per se on our computers. It resides in the Gmail cloud or in the G Suite cloud, which means I just go to gmail.com. My administrative assistant goes to gmail.com. We all can just go to gmail.com no matter where we are in the world, as long as we're on a cell phone or on a laptop or whatever it may be, and we can access our email. All of our same email in our inbox, outbox, drafts, trash, junk, everything. It's synchronized email. Now, let's take it a step further, because this is all part of the workspace or your desktop workspace in the cloud. I personally use a Chromebook, which works on the Gmail platform. Microsoft has their own versions of these things too, like the iDrive and so on and so forth. But I had another customer, I'll give you guys an example, a collection agency that we recently worked with on their phone system. They are using a platform that is kind of sort of in the cloud, but they use thin clients in their office. What does this mean? It means that none of their actual files for legal, safety, and liability and mobility reasons are physically on the desktop computer or on the hard drive on a laptop or desktop. A thin client, or what the thin client is it is basically just letting them access through a keyboard and mouse like any other computer, a virtualized version of all of their files, databases, and everything on a remote server that's somewhere off-site where they pay a small monthly fee so that everything is secure, safe, and being backed up. Now, I'm not implying that everybody who's watching this needs a thin client. There's tons of different ways to do it. We, for example, our CRM, we don't use a thin client and it's not in a cloud on a Rackspace server. Our CRM is actually a pure cloud-based CRM software. So we just go to richtechnologygroup.whatevercrm.com and any of us can access our CRM client records, sales records, customer data, my task list of what I was supposed to be doing today or whatever. I can access it from anywhere, from my phone or from my laptop. Nowadays, at the time of this video, that goes for as cheap as anywhere from $5 to typically $12 to $14 per month per user for a full-fledged CRM that's in the cloud that any of you and your staff can access from a cell phone or from a laptop and, add data, delete data, and have a full-fledged file server, I guess you could call it, and database in the cloud. It means that your data or your workspace is not tethered to a single location. Or as long as you have a laptop or a cell phone, which is obviously mobile, you can go anywhere. Okay. Point number 4, move your contact center to the cloud. Now, this kind of goes back to a little bit of what I talked about CRMs. I jumped a little bit ahead of the gun. I jumped a little bit ahead. In short, what this basically means is that it's a collaboration of points number 2 and 3. Your desktop space, your workspace, as well as your phone system, your contact center, how people contact you and how you interact with them and their data is all in the cloud. That's essentially what that is if somebody, say, calls agent number 1 or agent number 2, they have access to the company's corporate database as well as they're on the company's phone system, cloud-based phone system. So the person called into not the person's personal phone number, but into the company's number and got them through the directory or through their extension. Your contact center is now virtualized. Whether all of your staff is working in one office or whether you're all scattered, 5 of you work out of your home in XYZ state, the other 5 of you work out of their homes or out of, off their, yacht or whatever that's got internet access from wherever, the contact center is set up a way to where nobody knows where you are and they still get the same professional feel that they're working with you through your phone number that they called into and that you have access to all of your data to be able to work with them and help them solve whatever problem it is that they're doing. In short, it's the appearance of being able to serve your customers and contacts and collect data and do whatever it is you need to do in your business with the appearance of being in the office and still being connected as a team. Point number 5, identify and provide necessary devices. Now, obviously, everything that I've went over up to this point, it requires hardware in some capacity. While everything is virtualized, you still need, a router and a switch for high-speed internet, point number 1. You still need physical hardware or phones if you prefer to have a phone versus a mobile app or whatever it may be with your cloud-based phone system. And you still need some sort of way to access your data in your workspace, your remote desktop or workspace, whether that be laptop or cell phone or whatever it may be. So, even though we personally don't really sell hardware, I can connect you up with the right people that can find you these things. And I can also advise you hey, this is what I recommend for this particular hardware. This is what I recommend for this scenario. Even though I don't sell all this stuff, I'm very well familiar with what you need to connect all of these dots from points 1 through 6 and connect all of these dots with the hardware you need at the right price. So if you're not sure and you're looking for recommendations on that, just reach out to me. And finally, point number 6, remote file share. We touched on this one a little bit in point number 3, but we're going to touch on it again. So everybody knows how it worked in the olden days, and this is slowly getting phased out, where everybody's got a physical file server, that sits in the office, and everybody accesses it through Active Directory or through Microsoft Server or Novell Server or a Linux server or whatever. Nowadays, that type of stuff is dying out. This is why you have Microsoft Office 365 and OneDrive. We use Microsoft Office 365. All of my Word documents, my Excel spreadsheets, everything is all in the cloud. So it means that even if this laptop that I'm recording this very video on right now were to break, I would lose nothing if this laptop broke or was stolen or damaged, because all of my documents, my Excel spreadsheets, everything, my PDFs and everything is in the cloud. all of my PDFs and whatnot, and all of these videos that you see me recording are on my Google Drive, which you see below in point number 6, bullet points. My Gmail is part of G Suite. We don't use Dropbox or Box.com, but I have many clients that do. In short, what this means is no matter where your staff person goes, no matter what computer they're on, whether it's their company appointed laptop or desktop or their personal desktop at home, as long as you have these kind of services in place below, and there are many more, all they have to do is log in to their normal login and everything is there. It doesn't matter if I'm on this laptop or one of my other 4 laptops that I have or my cell phone. As long as I log in with my Microsoft Office 365 login, all of my same documents are still there and arranged the way I left them. As long as I log in with my Google, Gmail, or G Suite login, all of my same email, everything down to detail. Sent email, inbox email, unread, stuff that I put notes on or said, tag, this is important. It's all still there. Let's move me back over. So the question begs, how fast could someone make the pivot to this? Because I know some of you are probably watching and thinking, man, that's a lot of stuff. This would take a lot of work for me to move my staff to the cloud. Not necessarily. If you're not sure and you would like me to give you kind of a general assessment of your scenario, especially in regards to the internet, we represent all of the internet carriers for business in the United States. I also represent all of the hosted, cloud-based phone system providers in the United States. And I also, even though we don't talk about it much on our website, I also represent Microsoft Office 365, G Suite, and a slew of off-site file sharing and file storage and backup companies that are many of them top names and many of them ones that you maybe never even heard of. But we do represent like Amazon Web Services, Workspace.com, and the list goes on and on and on. If you want to give me a call and just say, hey, Prince, this is our scenario. We've got X amount of locations, X amount of staff, no matter how small or how large you are, I can work directly with you to be able to help you figure out the nuts and bolts and pieces of how you would actually make the partial or make the full transition to basically being able to work remotely, not only during this, pandemic, but also in general. One of the things I wanted to throw out there, and it's something that one of my customers mentioned to me the other day. It's 2 pointers I want to throw out there. Number one, for those of you who are watching that see the value in either partially or fully as time progresses, giving yourself and your staff the ability to work from home, I would encourage you to contact your local city or state, municipality or whatever it may be. I know for a fact that many city and state ordinances across the United States, they actually have special programs that encourage small businesses to try to let people work from home either partially or fully. And they will actually compensate you through tax breaks for every single individual person that you convert and that you can show has worked from home X amount of hours a year or whatever it may be. It's because it saves the city and the state money on, pollution in the air. It helps save the environment. It cuts down on traffic on the roads, which cuts down on things like accidents, cost to law enforcement, as well as wear and tear on the roads. It's a whole plethora of different reasons why city and state governments encourage small businesses to work from home and will actually compensate you nicely by way of tax breaks to do it. The other thing that I wanted to throw out there is I had somebody that mentioned something, because I don't want people to look at this from a fear factory standpoint or from oh my God, we've got to do this because this virus isn't going to go away. Truthfully, I believe that this is no different than the flu was years ago. About 100 years ago, nobody knew what it was. It was new. It was potentially deadly as well as hazardous to those with specific conditions. But we adapted, We found ways to come up with a vaccine. We found ways to work with it. People still get infected, but medical science has come to terms with it and we know how to combat it. I truly believe that the same is going to happen with coronavirus. However, the beauty of this is what one of my clients said is, many businesses that didn't realize how they could allow their staff more flexibility to work from home, but also be more mobile, are going to learn how to do this and adapt. And I think that is going to benefit a lot of businesses as time progresses. So anyways, Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group. If you're interested in any of these services and you'd like any insights, my service is free. I represent every single carrier in the United States for business phone systems, business internet. I also represent Microsoft Office 365, G Suite, and a whole plethora of offsite data backup and cloud file management companies, Prince Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video, and stay safe.